In this video, I'm spotlighting an overlooked creature from Magic's history and finding the perfect commanders to make it shine. Today, that creature is Tempting Licid from Stronghold. Tempting Licid is so old, we have to view the updated Oracle rules on the Gatherer. Here's a mock-up of what that card would look like in the modern era. The ideal home for Tempting Licid is a deck that wants to decide how combat happens. By forcing specific creatures to block, the Licid turns combat from a guessing game into a setup, letting you engineer trades, trigger combat abilities, or punishing blockers exactly when it suits you. If your strategy relies on opponents being forced into bad blocks rather than choosing them, Tempting Licid becomes a repeatable way to put combat firmly on your terms. My first choice is Shelob, Child of Ungoliant. Shelob turns your spiders into Death Touch nightmares and rewards you whenever they kill something in combat. Tempted Lycid does dirty work by forcing key creatures to block, guaranteeing they die to a spider and come back under your control as food. In a Shelob deck, the Lycid stops being a strange old aura and starts being a repeatable way to choose exactly which creatures your spiders get to beat. Next up is Naith of the Dire Hunt. Naith actively rewards you for forcing block, drawing cards whenever one of your creatures becomes blocked, and even letting you play mana to make that happen. Tempting Lycid slots in perfectly here, repeatedly enchanting key threats and forcing them to block, turning every combat step into card draw and favourable trades. In a Naith deck, the Lycid isn't a gimmick, it's a reliable engine that makes sure combat always happens on your terms. Third on our list is Toski, Bearer of Secrets. Toski wants as many creatures as possible connected in combat, but that usually means opponents get to choose their blocks. Tempting Lycid flips that script by forcing specific creatures to block, clearing the way for Toski and your other attackers to slip through and draw cards. In a Toski deck, the Lycid turns combat from a numbers game into something you can carefully engineer. Last up is Andrag, the Quake Mole. Andrag thrives on forced combat, demanding blocks and rewarding you with additional combat steps when creatures step in its way. Tempting Lycid complements this perfectly by singling out exactly which creatures are forced to block, letting you control how and when Andrag's ability snowballs. In an Andrag deck, the Lycid helps turn every combat into a carefully staged chain reaction rather than a chaotic brawl. So there you have it, 4 commanders that turn Tempting Lycid into a combat control tool. From feeding Shelob spiders to engineering card draw with Naith and Toski, this Forgotten Lycid lets you decide who blocks and when. If you like winning combat before it even starts, Tempting Lycid deserves a second look.